Hello everyone, my name is Sokol and I would like to present my study, Metric Analysis of the Environmental Policy Comprehensive Review. Let's start with the definition, what environmental policy is. Environmental policy is defined as any action deliberately taken to manage human activities with a view to prevent, reduce, or mitigate harmful effects on nature and natural resources, and ensuring that man-made changes on the environment don't have any effects on human or environments. The main goal of the study is to understand and highlight the patterns in the international published literature regarding environmental policy. Bibliometric analysis allows to show developments with the knowledge on the specific subject and accesses the scientific influence of the researchers and sources. The aims of the study is to visualize the network of publications shaping the overall intellectual structure of the environmental research field by considering the period between 1971 and 2020. Map the clusters of semantically related publications, authors, universities, and countries. Reveal the emerging development paths of each semantic clusters to present the strategic principles they embody. Metric or statistical analysis of published work was first described by Pritchard. He said it's a method to shed a light on the process of written communication and of the nature and course of development of discipline, insofar as this displays through written communication by means counting and analyze the various facets of written communication. The total number of articles used in the study were retrieved from the Web of Science for collection. The Web of Science database contains the largest international authoritative periodicals, and the academic influence of their research is greater than another basis. So the result of the analysis were more objective and accurate. After exporting metadata in R, we used package Bibliometrics for descriptive statistics. For visualization, we used special software for bibliometric analysis posterior. Given the variety of terms used to describe environmental policy, we decided to combine of 4 keywords in English to get international coverage scientific result of the countless search term environmental policy, ecological policy, climate change policy, and climate policy. English words have been adapted to limit the loss of articles, in order to avoid correspondence of articles that use several different terms, for example, policy and policies. The results were filtered by publication year from 1971 through 2020. The complete metadata for each resulting publication, as well as a subject category frequency. We used only articles as document type, and we deleted articles with less to citations and no loops, multiplies, and duplicates. Research criteria yielded more than 8,000 documents published by more than 90,000 authors. The number of sources is more than 1,000 in total, from which documents were screened and eliminated. This process of data pouring, screening, and finishing was captured from the March 22nd. In annual scientific production is grown exponentially every year, indicated that the research had been aroused more and more attention recently. The concept of the environmental policy began being more popular in the literature from the early 90s. We can see that this scientific field is actually young. And to find out the most productive authors, we used to describe the top 10. The most productive author is Otto Lenin. He has 31 articles. Mr. Fredrickson has 30 articles. and Andrew Johnson had 22 articles. The top author production over time calculates an author production in terms of number of publications over time, but it's also interesting to find out what is dominance factor. Dominance factor is a ratio indicated in fraction of multi-authored articles in which scholar appeared as the first author. For example, Berlinian and Frankenstein has almost the same number of top articles, but the first authored Berlinian has only one article, but Frankenstein the 15 articles. This is why the dominance factor of Frankenstein is higher than Berlinian. The top authors' production over time, we can see how they develop their research. And for example, Mrs. Moe, she wrote about environmental policy more than 30 years. But Uperlenin, who becomes the most productive author, began to write only from 2008. And it's actually interesting to know how the popularity of the author and the time had been changed, and when he wrote his articles and became the more popular. The structure of the citation of the top network you can see on the slide. When author cites another, they show us connection between published papers, and therefore connection between the ideas those papers present. An author implies a subject relationship a paper when the cited. In this network, the size of node is the number of articles, and the citation link is a link between two items that no item cites the other. But also it's interesting to know what is the most cited articles in our data. And we can see that the authors of the most popular articles are not the authors of the top productive. It means that some authors, which is not so productive in the environmental policy, wrote the most cited articles about the topic environmental policy than the top 10. And it's actually clear to see that some articles has actually the popularity from another articles in the field, and for in this structure can help us to find out what is the articles are, why they are most popular, and how they were cited and whom. The next question of the volumetric analysis is where the articles were published. On the slide, you can see the structure of the journals where the published articles about the environmental policy. We can see the dynamics of these journals when they started and when they started to write about the environmental policy and how they grow. It's interesting to find out that the most popular journal is not about the policy, it's about economics, and it's called ecological economics. Also, we made a cohort analysis through weakest occurrence. We did it to find out the keywords which identify relationships and interaction between topics, research, and emerging research trends. And this analysis technique can be used to visualize the strange association between keywords in our data. And the most popular keyword, of course, is environmental policy, but also interesting to find out such popular word is management, governments, and uncertainty. The next question we want to find out is where these articles were published, which university. Of course, one of the most famous university is one of the best universities in the world is the Harvard University. And if we can see in the structure, we can see that this university is from the developed countries, but only there are some is from not developed. For example, Chinese Academy of Science is not Western countries or developed countries, but actually it has a lot of citations. And our last step was to find out the countries of collaboration network. And of course, USA is a leader of academic publications, and our beliefs about that the USA were true because we thought, because USA has a lot of university, a lot of published articles, and is a leader in academic scientific community. Also, we can see that almost all countries from the top 10 are developed countries, and they're almost all Western countries. And we know that the Western universities and Western education are the best education in the world. So they're not surprised. The single country publication and multi-country publication has a large number. But we actually surprised to see China here because it's become more popular. They grow a lot of publications and try to publish more and more about the environmental policy. Maybe because China has some problems with their ecology and they want to find out what is going on. And the last slide is the Sankey diagram. Is a free field plot helps to understand what people wrote, who wrote, and where. And we can see that some journals wrote about only special topics, and the authors wrote about the special topics in some journals. And we can see what they wrote, who wrote, and where. In the conclusion, I would like to say that this study found out the main metrics of the academic publications. We present a brief example of using different bibliometric tools to demonstrate how they can be used for the bibliometric modeling and find out of the top authors and the main topics. In the future, we will a deep dive to next metrics of the bibliometrics analysis and to find out more and also use theoretical assumptions why it's happened. Thank you for your attention.